Alright, in this video we're going to take this beautiful Z06 Corvette that just came in with a Diablosport tuner. I don't know anything about the calibration file that's on it other than there was a receipt from eBay in the box. So we'll assume it's a email tune, and then we're going to remove it and install HP tuners and do a custom calibration and see if there's any difference. Let's see what happens. So I've had tons of different C6s come through the door, and I can't necessarily tell you what it is about this one, but it just seems and feels really nice compared to most. The biggest difference is in the interior. I don't know if it's just in good condition and not clapped out or what, but it doesn't really have that traditional GM feeling on the inside of it. And to anyone that's ever sat in a GM car, you know exactly what I'm referring to without actually having to say any more about that. Alright, going to start off warming it up and make a few runs with the Diablo tuner and get some baseline numbers, and then we'll switch over to the HP tuner stuff. Conveniently, the power just went out. Last time this happened, it was out for like a day and a half, so this is not good. Alright, it's been about 2 hours, give or take. The power came back on once for a couple minutes and then went right back out. So hopefully we're good to go now. Super behind schedule. Here's the first run. I actually forgot to turn on the air fuel, so I'm going to make another one. So pretty much the same horsepower. And if we look at our fueling, it goes from okay to pretty lean, pretty rich, and then starts leaning out again. But all things considered, it's not too bad, but there's definitely some room for improvement. This orange trace here is the ignition timing. You can see it's going crazy and all over the place. And digging through, there's a bunch of knock retard that's a part of it, and there's a whole bunch of other compensations that are coming into play. So we got to straighten that out. This white line is actually their target, so it saves an endless amount of time to do it that way, but obviously your target fueling shouldn't be like that. So I'm going to try to it's so hot in here. I'm going to try to uninstall the Diablosport now, and then in theory that should load the factory file back into it, and maybe we'll make a run with that if that goes as planned, and then we'll actually start making some changes and see, based off what I'm seeing in this log here, it should be easy to find a couple horsepower. So let's see what happens. So if you like LS cars and LS swapped cars and like seeing that stuff on the dyno, make sure you subscribe. Here are a few cars waiting in line to go on the dyno now, and we'll release videos as each one is finished. They should be rolling out any day now. Alright, whoever at GM made these doors ding like this and made the horn honk every time you shut the door should be fired and banned from working on cars ever again. The Diablosport Intune is designed to increase vehicle performance and fuel economy. Let's see if that's the case. Restore original. Alright, we'll let this finish, then I'll try to re-download it and see if it looks like it's a factory file. Alright, it's reading the new file. Alright, gonna go back through this thing one more time. If I don't pass out and die. But basically the file that it loaded into it was not a factory file. It had been messed with and all jacked up too. Alright, license the file. Alright, just made 1,000 changes. Gonna try it out. I suspect it'll probably take a few runs to get the fueling where I want, and then we can tinker with some other stuff. Alright, so literally on the first pull, we're up way more than expected. I need to add a little bit of fuel, but you can see how much flatter and smoother the fueling is now. So we'll make a couple more revisions. Just changed fueling on this one. You can see we're significantly richer everywhere. Power is basically the same, and then here it's just a little bit more. So the good old phrase "lean is mean" is not always accurate. This is the fueling correction from my target. Basically within like 1% everywhere. Gonna actually fatten it up a little bit, try a different target air fuel, and see what that does. Went richer on the fueling. Power is the same, so if we can keep it safer without giving out power, I'm perfectly okay with that. Getting there. This was actually with I didn't add timing, but I changed some of the things that influence timing and picked up a little bit more. Shit, we're so close to 500 now. I'd love to see it, but I just think it's too hot. If I was to come back tonight, maybe, but it's got to be 100 and God only knows what degrees in here. It's awful. Actually, I guess it's only 90 in here. It sure feels a whole hell of a lot worse than that. Alright, I didn't even expect this. I slowly ramped some timing in at higher RPM. You see it started creeping up here, and it did it. Now let's compare to the other file. Okay, so here's the before and after. The blue is the Diablo tuning. Again, I don't know who did the tuning on that or what the story is with it. And then the yellow is what we did today. You can see the air fuel is much flatter, and it's leaned out quite a bit. Going leaner did not increase any power. And if we scroll through, let's see, about 32, 35, 43, 44. So I guess a peak of about 44 horsepower difference. You can see here it's showing the difference between the runs. So 44 horsepower just from tuning. You can't really ask for much more than that, especially on a naturally aspirated car. All right, that's going to do it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the difference in the process. I guess I'll just add a little disclaimer that the difference in the hardware between the Diablosport and the HP tuners isn't the result of the horsepower difference. The difference is in the calibration. So regardless of which software you're using, if you, I don't know, let's say set it up correctly, this is kind of what you'll see. But just keep in mind that we see these kind of results over and over and over and over again on all of the like pre-done email tunes. And as you can see from the fueling on this, they're probably just trying to keep it overly safe. Last thing they want to do is kind of quote unquote tune your car sight unseen and then blow it up. However, it was a little crazy to see how much timing they had in it. So that was a little scary. The first run I did on their stuff, it had knocked all over the place. So definitely, you know, should be a lot more enjoyable to drive now, and was money very well spent. So again, basically 50 horsepower just from putting the car on the dyno and tuning. It's pretty wild. People would pay a lot of money for hardware on a naturally aspirated car to gain 50 horsepower. So if you're going to buy a bunch of nice parts, definitely take the time and spend a few extra dollars to get it properly tuned and calibrated, and then you can actually you know, get the most out of all the parts that you just bought. But that's going to do it for this video, so I guess I will see you next time. Thanks.